And illegal abuse of federal welfare programs by eliminating broad-based categorical eligibility, which allows individuals to automatically qualify for benefits based on something as trivial as receiving a brochure. The Department of Agriculture estimated that this loophole allowed 5.6 million individuals who were not eligible under federal standards to nonetheless receive SNAP benefits. The No Welfare for the Wealthy Act of 2025 would reduce this abuse by requiring households to meet federal standards for SNAP benefits.
That was Advancing American Freedom's Rachel Gressler telling Congress back in June to do more to control wasteful spending within the nation's taxpayer-subsidized safety net programs. Some attorneys general from across the country, they're now saying in federal court that the federal government is going too far with food subsidies. Welcome back to the States. I'm Greg Bishop. New York Attorney General Letitia James leading a group of Democrats across the country suing the Trump administration over a requirement to turn over personal information about Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program recipients. Now, that lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court yesterday. James and 20 other attorneys general argue that the Department of Agriculture's recent guidance declaring that some immigrants, including refugees and those granted asylum, are ineligible for SNAP is illegal. Now, the Center Square contributor Chris Wade reports that the AGs asked a judge to block the enforcement of the policy. In the 60-page complaint, the Democrats said the USDA's new policy requiring non-citizens to have lived in the country for 5 years to receive SNAP benefits means that anyone entering the country, including those admitted through humanitarian protection programs for asylum seekers and refugees, would automatically be ineligible for temporary food assistance. The USDA's push to enforce the new rules, it also, quote, threatens to destabilize SNAP nationwide, according to the lawsuit, and it puts a significant financial strain on states that would have to shoulder the cost for fines from violations. Now, the AGs pointed out that the Trump administration has been blocked by recent federal court rulings from assessing personal information of welfare recipients to probe for immigration violations. Back in October, the USDA issued new guidance to states curtailing SNAP eligibility for non-citizens as it implemented spending cuts and expanded work requirements approved by the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Now, concerns about this were recently heard in California during a Senate committee where people raised the possibility of more people being taken off of food subsidies.
And 36% of these humanitarian immigrants that started losing their benefits on April 1st, 36% are children. And we all know that once you lose food assistance, you don't have the support, stability, guidance. You end up in hospitals, emergency rooms, child welfare cases. And while food banks are a vital source, they cannot fill the gap that HR 1 is causing. And I truly believe that with proper assistance in place, people can truly thrive, not just survive.
Now, the Trump administration has threatened to withhold food aid from recipients in most Democratic-controlled states unless those states provide information about the recipients. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said at the time that the agency wants to be making sure that those who are really needing the food assistance are getting that food assistance, and to also ensure that the American taxpayer is protected. She had cited data showing that 186,000 deceased people are receiving SNAP benefits, and another 500,000 have been getting doubled benefits. Now, in 2025, roughly 42 million people received food stamps to help pay for their groceries, or about 1 in 8 Americans. According to the USDA, that is more than $101 billion in cost to the taxpayer. Now, as of April, that number of people getting the benefit dropped to about 37 million, according to the agency. But watchdogs say more needs to be done to rein in taxpayer spending on safety net programs because there's potential abuse. Here's Jessica Vaughn, Director of Policy Studies for the Center for Immigration Studies, testifying to the U.S. Senate in March.
Besides blocking law enforcement agencies from cooperating with ICE, sanctuary states typically have other policies that attract illegal settlement and thus burden taxpayers with support of illegal immigrants. Besides funding emergency health care and schooling for all, a number of sanctuary states go farther and choose to provide Medicaid, subsidized health insurance, nutrition assistance, housing, and much more. Illegal immigrants use these welfare programs in large numbers. My organization has found that over 60% of illegal alien-headed households are using at least one form of welfare program, and usually more than one, at a cost of tens of billions of dollars to taxpayers. This is why any resources spent on immigration enforcement actually save taxpayer money in the long run.
Now, other states that have signed on to that lawsuit filed Monday against the Trump administration includes California, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin. Now, New York's Letitia James, a Democrat, has sued the Trump administration more than 74 times, claiming the Trump administration is illegally cutting off SNAP benefits for tens of thousands of lawful permanent residents. We'll be tracking that case and many others closely here with the Center Square.